Howdy, hi. It is Do Your Job Sports WNBA picks and predictions for Saturday, May 24th, 2025. We are looking at the best bets of the day. Let's get into the video. All right. If you do not want to hear someone complain for roughly 3 to 4 minutes, you can skip forward to the next timestamp where we have both games and the player props. If you are still here, you can get ready for some serious bitching. On the day, we go 2-5, bringing our season record to 19-24. This was the most absolute batshit crazy day of WNBA I have seen in a while. It started out. Actually, I'm not even going to recap the wins and losses, so I'm just going to go through the games right quick. Connecticut Sun, Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx win the game 76-70. They were at one point down in this game by 15 points. Connecticut Sun biggest lead, 15. Minnesota biggest lead, 6. We had two things in this game. We had the Lynx minus 15.5. Never stood a chance. We had the Lynx team total over 87.5. I got a good number on this. Their team total closed 88.5. No good. No bueno. Bridget Carlton and Courtney Williams combined 2 of 22 from the field. 2 of 22. If they just went 8 of 22, we would have hit the minus 15.5 and the team total over. Just 8 of 22 from the field. But they can't do that as they go 2 of 22. As a team, the Lynx shot 39% from the field, 29% from deep, 73% from the free throw line, with 15 turnovers. So that was the first egregious game. Then the next egregious game, Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm. Final score 70-77. The Mercury, at one point in this game, had a 7-point lead. The Storm's largest lead of the game was 7 points, the final score being 7. The Phoenix Mercury got outscored in the final quarter 9-15. How do you score 9 points in 10 minutes of basketball? I will tell you, it's called you shoot 43% from the field, 33% from deep. You have 19 turnovers as a team. Alyssa Thomas had 6, Satu Sabli had 3. You had, dude, what is Uzun coming off the bench having a 3, and then same with Kalani Brown off the bench with 3? You can't have 3 turnovers coming off the bench when you only play 9 minutes. That is 1 turnover every 3 minutes around the court as a center. How the fuck do you do that? All right, next game. We did add the Valkyries plus 11.5. If you're not in the Discord, hop in the Discord. But once this number got to, it was at 10, then it jumped to 10.5, then it jumped to 11.5. I was like, all right, 11.5 is absurd. And then it went back down to 10.5. The Valkyries won the game. As an 11.5 point dog at one point, they won the game by 9. They almost covered the reverse spread. The expansion team is now 2-1. And they kicked ass. They lost the first quarter by 2. They won the second quarter by, what is that? 14 points. 16 points. I'm not good at math. 25-9. That is fucked up. Again, another WNBA team that scores 9 points in a quarter of basketball. Kelsey Plum, horrible day, 6 of 18. Odyssey Sims, 4 of 13. Sarah Ashley Barker, 2 of 7. They don't have a bench. Their bench combined for 6 points. It was literally all of their starters. Rakia Jackson being out for this team is going to be a serious problem because they don't have another bucket getter. It is Kelsey Plum and De'Erica Hamby versus the world. The rest of this team is ass. Then, this might be the most surprising one. The Aces probably should have lost this basketball game. They closed 15.5 point favorite. We had them, minus the spread and the over. They played like a heaping pile of dog shit. They win the game 75-72 because the Mystics had the ball, 12 seconds left, no shot clock. It was just 12 seconds of game time left. They opted to take a shot with 8 seconds on the clock. Why you do that, I have no idea. A foul gets called on the Aces. It gets reversed to a no foul. Aces get the ball. They then get the timeout to bring it down the court. Inbound to Asia. Asia hits Jewel Lloyd in the corner. Knockdown 3, game winner. If you're the Mystics, why are you shooting the ball with 8 seconds left? If you miss, you shoot it with 2 seconds left, and then you go to overtime. Worst case scenario, you go to overtime. Coach is an idiot. A complete fucking idiot for the Mystics. Also, the Mystics, Brittany Sykes didn't even play in this game. Literally didn't have Brittany Sykes, didn't have Aaliyah Edwards, didn't have Shakira Austin. The only people they had, Kiki Arafan, you had Dolson, you had Sonia Citron, you had Melbourne, the small little white girl from Australia. They don't have anyone on this team. They were going up against Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, 4 of the best players in the game, and they almost lost. What the fuck? So, that is how we go 2-5. A little bit different way of recapping, but here we are. Let's get into the games for tomorrow. Thankfully, there is only 2 games tomorrow. I need multiple days of recovery from the bullshit that has been going on in the WNBA. One of them is good, one of them horrible. The good game, it is New York Liberty at the Indiana Fever. Last time I checked, let me get an updated line. I made these slides like 2 hours ago, so let me just double check real quick. Okay. Pause. No, they're the same. Okay, over is different, spread is the same. The over is up to 171.5, so I will change that in my notes. But I did get it at 170.5 about 2 hours ago. But for video purposes, I will change that to 171.5. I'm taking the Liberty. I'm taking the over. I have not been impressed with this Fever team at all. This Liberty team looks really, really goddamn good. Compared to every other quote-unquote top team in the league, when they play poor competition, they take care of business. They clapped the Fever's cheeks, not the Fever, they clapped the Aces' cheeks, and then in their second game at the Connecticut Sun, they destroyed them. I think they're going to roll. 2-0, they beat the Aces by 14, they beat the Sun by 25. They scored 92 and 99 points in their games so far. They're just laying belt to ass. Tasha Cloud looking like one of the best guards in the league. I don't see who on this Fever team is stopping her. I don't see who is stopping Stewie. I don't see Aaliyah Edwards. No, Boston. God, names are hard. I don't see who's stopping Jonquel Jones down low. The only matchup I actually like for the Fever is Caitlin Clark. Probably the worst defender on the Liberty is Sabrina. Another matchup I don't mind, Natasha Howard. She had a really good previous game. She dropped like 26 points. So if they can limit her, it's basically going to be Clark and Boston in the pick and roll. So if they can figure that out, New York is going to roll. I have not been impressed with the Fever this year. They split a series against the Atlanta Dream, a team they are supposed to be much better than. They did blow out the Sky, but the Sky might be one of the worst teams in the league. So I'm not going to really read too much into that. The Liberty have the better team. Yes, the Fever do have a good home court, but they already lost to Atlanta at their home court. So if you can lose to Atlanta at home, you can 100% lose to the Liberty. Give me the Liberty minus the 3.5, and then the over 171.5, not 170. Next game, this is just a heaping pile of dog shit. Wings at the Dream. There might be like 200 people at this game, especially on Memorial Day weekend. No one is showing up to this. So I'm not going to bet the spread. I am just taking the over 168.5. The current spread is the Atlanta Dream laying 5.5 points. Do I really want to touch the Atlanta Dream as a favorite? Not so much. They lost their only game favorited this year. It was their home opener against the Mystics. Oh, no, sorry. Their road season opener against the Mystics. They were laying, I think, 4.5 points, and they lost. Not doing that again. Wings, they're horrible. 0-3 on the year. Very bad at basketball. Their losses have come by 15 points, 8 points, and 4 points. Granted, 2 of those were to the Minnesota Lynx, so their competition has been decent. This is their second game of a 4-game East Coast road trip. Kind of brutal to start out the year, going 4 games on the East Coast, but who knows? I am picking Arike Ogunbowale to just absolutely pop off. She's played 3 decent defensive teams. They went against the Lynx, the Storm, and the Lynx. Actually, take out the word decent. Those are 2 of the better defensive teams in the league. So you now get a downgrading competition with the Atlanta Dream. And Arike's been absolutely chucking the basketball. But we'll talk about more her in the next slide. The Dream, they're 1-2 on the year, 0-1 at home. They lost 81-76 just 2 days ago against the Fever. They've been in high-scoring games, minus that most recent one. Their previous 2 games landed on 184 and 181. Neither of these teams any play real defense. They both like to push the pace and shoot the 3 ball a lot. So give me the over, 168.5. If I had to bet someone on the spread, I would take the Wings plus 5.5. All right, now we get to the player props. I found both of these on FanDuel. You'd be shocked at how different or how differing lines can be. I looked on ESPN Bet. They had Caitlin Clark PRA over 41.5. I then looked on FanDuel because I was like, holy shit, that's insane. FanDuel has her over 36.5. That is much more reasonable. So my reasoning for this, if the Fever are going to have a chance to be in this basketball game, it is going to be because of Caitlin Clark. I said earlier, Sabrina's probably the worst on-ball defender the Liberty have in their starting lineup. It's going to be a lot of pick and roll up top with Caitlin Clark. Clark should be able to feast. DeWanna Bonner hasn't been doing anything in the starting unit. Natasha Howard had a good previous game, but I don't think she's going to be able to do anything down low against Stewie and Jonquel Jones. If the Fever are going to stay in it, it is going to be because of Caitlin Clark. Give me Caitlin Clark, points, rebounds, and assists over 36.5. Then you have Arike Ogunbowale. I think this is way too low of a number. 20.5 points plus assists. Is Las Vegas aware of how often Arike Ogunbowale will just run down the court and chuck the ball at the hoop? Because I really don't think so. Now, I've talked a decent amount of bullshit about Arike Ogunbowale this season and how awful she is at basketball. But when push comes to shove, this chick will just heave the basketball at the hoop. She's had 12 shot attempts, 14 shot attempts, and 20 shot attempts. And I didn't even look at the free throws. She probably has 5+ free throws every single game. This is by far the worst defensive team they have played. She's coming off of a 26-point-plus assist game. I think she might be able to touch 30. I'm just talking straight up in the points department. If she gets hot from deep, she will fire 15 3-pointers in a game. She's capable of doing that. With Paige Beckers on the team or without, doesn't matter. This bitch will just absolutely yoink the ball from deep. So give me Arike PA, no rebounds, over 20.5. Okay, that is going to do it for me in this video. Hopefully today is a normal day of WNBA basketball where the massive favorites don't choke. All right, I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.